And as I go to get up, it's like something just right on my shoulders and it's holding me on and then it's like the more I like try to get up, the more it feels like now something's like wrapped around me like this, like, you know, like a bear hug. And it was almost like there was something over my mouth because I felt like I couldn't talk. It's like I wanted to, but I felt like I couldn't. All right. Happy Tuesday. Back with another episode. So if you haven't figured out by now, this isn't your typical podcast. This is how we wanted to do a podcast, like a talk show, like a daytime talk show, something you want to listen to in the mornings on your way to work, maybe on your lunch break, or maybe you do like listening to us at night while you're chilling in the bed with maybe a drink, maybe something else, you know, so whatever. Have you
bowl of, grits.
Well, whatever floats your boat, I guess. So.
It's the first thing that came to mind. I was like, okay, what could be warm? Which, if you're watching this from probably anywhere other than the South, you might not know what grits are.
True, you might be joining it with a warm thing of oatmeal.
Yeah, because they don't have grits up north, do they?
I don't know.
I don't think they do. Might be mistaken, though, but...
You can leave us a comment, though, and let us know what's... if you have grits up north. I don't know. Maybe they do. I feel like it's more of a southern thing. I don't know about anywhere else, like west, midwest, north. I don't know. So...
Yeah.
Definitely a southern thing, though. Definitely.
So, news. Any news you want to share? Anything exciting happened in your life since the last time we were on here?
No. We did invest in a drone. Still getting the hang of that. Never really flown a drone before, so I've been having to do a lot of practicing.
Crashed it?
I crashed it twice, actually. 2 out of the 4 propellers. I had to order some replacements on Amazon, but luckily it did not mess up the camera or the gimbal or any other part, considering this thing does not have insurance, because I guess with the whole DJI government thing, you can't get the insurance that you used to get on these drones through DJI anymore, because if something happens, you'd have to send it off and get it replaced. Like, I can't even send it to Canada. And we ain't even beefing with Canada that I know of. So, I don't know.
Well, we were. I don't know if we still are.
I don't know. So I got to take care of it. I still got to learn it, but it is a lot of fun. So, hopefully on future videos, we can start using it more to get, like, a better, look at things, get a little better scenery.
Yeah, we did use it on the video we put out not too long ago, the Grants or Harrison grave. That was actually the first time we took it out, but the bad thing was we were like, oh yeah, we got the drone to use, and then we get out there and someone forgets something, so we couldn't use our camera.
Yeah, I forgot to put the memory card back into our camera, because it takes a little micro SD, and I forgot to put it. I thought it was in there. Couldn't find out you cannot use this camera without the memory card, so had to use the cell phone.
It's been a long time since we used a cell phone.
Yeah, I'm after having to go back and use it, though. I'm glad we got away from using it, and there's nothing wrong with the cell phone. I mean, the iPhone does great, and it's got several good camera apps outside of the native camera that work really well. But I'm glad we got away from it. I'm glad we were able to get away from it.
Yeah, I think the only thing you could really, I'm not one that has like a really keen eye for, this is very like high quality, picture. But
right.
The only thing I could notice was it was a little bit shakier than some of the things we've shot with the Pocket 3 camera we typically use. We actually have 2 cameras we use.
Yeah, we have the DJI Osmo Pocket 3, which works really well. Like, I love that camera. And, I'm no professional cinematographer, videographer, even photographer. But I love that camera. It's very inconspicuous. It doesn't really stick out, but it has a built-in gimbal. It works very well, very good quality. I wish it did pick up better in low light, but
Yeah.
that's limited to the 1-inch sensor. And then we also do have the Sony a7S III, which is what we've used a lot until we got the DJI, and it is an excellent in low light, excellent video. The only thing is when we're out doing, like, especially the filming location
Or true
videos
crime.
or true crime, the Sony a7S III sticks out like a sore thumb. Like, it's like a beacon, like, hey, look what I got.
Yeah, because it does put out good picture, but if you don't have it on the gimbal, it's kind of shaky.
Yeah.
And the gimbal itself is like this huge,
It's big, it's
setup.
heavy. Yeah. Yeah.
Not huge like we're like about to film a Hollywood movie, but
No, but
it's
it's
too big for you to just have out on the street without looking some kind of way.
yeah. We were using a lot whenever we would do the haunts and stuff until it started getting a little too heavy carrying it, through the haunted house, and then you're having to like turn it, like this to try to get somebody that's jumping out, and it took a little longer. So
Which we still do use it for haunted attractions. We just he just walks through and holds the camera, and it still, like, even to me, that one kind of, since it's kind of bigger like this way, I mean, you have had some scare actors actually hit the camera.
yeah, some of the scare actors, they get a little over anxious when they see the camera, so it's like they want to be right in the camera, and they want to they want to get on camera, and they get a little too close and they end up hitting it with their head or their hand, or whatever.
And it hurts your heart when
It
they
does.
hit it, because you're like, I paid on this for so long.
Yeah.
Please don't break it.
Please don't break the game. Like, back up. And two, they don't understand that, like, the closer they get to the camera, the more out of focus they are. So then it's like their time. Because, if I'm a scare actor and I see someone coming through a camera, I'm going to go look for that video. So I can be like,
Yeah,
I'm
me
on
too.
camera. I'm on you. Everybody would,
I
right?
want to see what I'm looking like, and what I said and how I did.
Yeah. But what they don't understand is the closer they get to the camera, the more out of focus they become. So then it's like we either have to cut your scene, which sucks if you've done such a good job, or you're really blurry and you can't see what you look like anyway. So if anybody watches our podcast and you're a scare actor, stay, I would say at least a good arm's length from the camera. That way you stay in focus and you get to see yourself better. Yeah, loving the drone so far. Hope to get a lot more use out of it and be able to do other things outside of just our videos with it. It's just a lot to learn. It's that thing, like getting it smooth, because flying it's one thing, but when you're flying and having to record, that's like totally different. Like, because you want the smooth shots, you want it to look good, you don't want it to be like jerking around and everything. So I guess that's all new I got.
Speaking of the drone, like, I think it was the next day after it got here and he was out there flying it, back up like 2 days prior to that, we get a call while we're at work, and the person that also lives here, like on the property, has a house also. He's like, yo, the cops just showed up. And that's never a good thing. You're like, oh, why the cops at my house? And da, da, da. And it turns out we had some guy hiding back in our woods.
Yeah, he was back on part of the 40 acres behind our house, and don't know really how long he's been there. Like,
Yeah.
We don't know if it was just that day, if he'd been like camping out and from the cops or what. But I mean, they somehow knew exactly pretty much the location where he was at. So,
And the cops were like, hey, I need to get back on this land. Is there a way to get back there? Which there is, because we used to have like a paintball field back there. And so he was like, yeah, you can get back there that way. And he was like, yeah, he tried to like kidnap a child.
yeah.
So we don't know any other details other than that, whether it was like a stranger child or like maybe it was his child. Maybe they're not together and he was trying to like take his own child.
Yeah.
We know nothing other than he was trying to kidnap a child and he was hiding in our woods.
Yeah. Hopefully, I mean, both ways are bad, but hopefully it was more of a domestic thing. Like maybe, you know, the mom's like, you're not going to see your kid. And he's like, you're not going to keep me from my kid, you know, and kind of thing like, you know,
versus
I want to see.
Yeah. Didn't know.
Yeah. Versus it being like, I'm trying to kidnap random, you know, kids and I've gotten busted and now I'm running from the cops. I mean.
Yeah. So they did find him. He was exactly where they thought he was going to be. So when they came back through, you know, his friend was like, they were like, thanks for your help. And he was like, yeah, he was in the back seat. And we're like, he's seen your face.
Yeah.
he knows you helped.
For you.
And so when the drone got here that day or the next day, whenever it was you took it out flying.
Yeah, it was that same day.
He flew it back there to his house to try to freak him out.
It just so happened, like, I wasn't thinking about it, but luckily he was actually outside. So I'm like, I got it kind of high in the air and I'm bringing it down. I'm kind of moving slowly, making sure. And he sees it because, you know, I keep seeing him look up and he's got like his rifle on his shoulder and he was like getting some firewood and stuff. And so like as he's walking back out of the woods, like I'm slowly turning the drone so that it's like following him and everything. And you can kind of see that like nervousness look on his face. And I'm like slowly moving it. And by the time he just throws the wood down, pulls the gun off, and I was like, oh my God. He's fixing to shoot down this brand new drone that we freaking saved, you know, to be able to buy. And so I just like turn it and just bolt it back up towards the house, like kind of going up and down and sideways like I can, you know, to try to keep from, you know, getting shot at and everything. Sent him a message and I was like, man, don't be shooting down my new drone. What are you doing? He's like, I would have called you before I, you know, shot to make sure it wasn't you. I'm like, that's not what it looked like on camera.
So we got the drone because in a few weeks we're you know, not hitting the road, we're hitting the sky.
Yeah, the airplane.
To go back on the road, basically.
Yep, going back to the UK. We went a couple years ago, stayed for about a month, or 3 weeks. Yeah. Three to 4 weeks. Enjoyed it over there, did a lot of good video, Hero Fire Club. We did Bram Stoker's Dracula, where he was staying in Whitby whenever he was writing Dracula.
There was a lot of things that were on our list that we didn't get to do because we ran out of time.
Yeah.
Because when we went over to the UK for the first time, we're like, okay, you know, everything's pretty small. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like distance wise.
Yeah, not spread out like
here, you know, it takes you hours to get somewhere because it's so far away. And we're like, we should be able to hit a bunch of spots. No. It was not like that when we got there because we quickly find out how bad traffic is.
Yeah, especially around London area, traffic is horrible.
Yeah, you know how in the Hangovers when they're the one where they go
to Bangkok.
Yeah, and it's like Bangkok has him now. That's how we felt in London.
Yeah. London has us now. It's never going to let us go.
Every road we try to take on this one specific day was closed for road work, and the GPS would detour us to another way to try to get out, and it would be closed. And it was just, we just ran into that time after time again, and we're like, we can't get out of this city. Yeah, because it was road work, and they had a lot of the streets blocked off for like some kind of race, like 5K run cycling thing. So it's like road work and a race everywhere you freaking turn. So what should have taken us like 20-30 minutes to get out of the city ended up taking us like 3 to 4 hours to freaking get out, because like we're never gonna get out of the city. And then during that trip we somehow got like 2 tickets. Yeah, and one of the tickets, understand the tickets. Yeah, and one of the tickets was at a hotel in Edinburgh that we were staying at. Like we had the little parking pass to go in the window. They had our license plate and everything at the front, and we somehow still ended up with a ticket at this hotel. For parking at the hotel. I think it was Holiday Inn. Yeah. I'm like, there was like some kind of mix up with our hotel room too, wasn't it? When we first got there. I can't remember exactly what happened. I just remember something was messed up with our reservation. Yeah, I can't remember what it was. Yeah, but hopefully we'll get to use the drone when we get over there to get some better shots. But I have a lot, or we have a lot, and we both, mostly me, I make these lists. He contributes to things he wants to do. But there are a lot of videos we want to do. Now, we don't know like how much we'll get to, but we're hoping for a lot of content.
One thing I know we're not going to be able to do, but I would love to get to go see it, but it's not going to be possible, and that's Ozzy's grave, because since he was buried on their property, know where the property is, but I imagine like most big celebrities is probably gated and all that and everything, but it would be like awesome to get to like see his resting place, but no, it's not gonna happen.
I'm sure there's you and a lot of other people that would love to see that.
I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed though, maybe on a day we kind of ride by there, maybe Sharon's out or
I don't
Kelly
think Sharon's just gonna
I mean, she might, you never know.
She seems cool, but I don't know if she's just gonna I
mean, if it was just us and we're just getting like a picture, it's not like we're bringing hundreds of people with us. I mean, you never know. It could happen. Just like you could win the lottery. It's a long shot.
It's very small.
Yeah, but it's a long shot, but it can happen. People do it all the time. So, I mean, this is a long shot, but it could happen. You never know.
Yeah, I just had a birthday. I just turned 42. I told my girls, were like, aren't you excited for your birthday? And I was like, I lived another year. I'm thankful for that, but I'm not excited for my birthday. After a certain age, I feel like you're just like,
yeah,
I'm getting older, my hips hurt, my hair's falling out, whatever, Yeah,
it kind of just becomes like another birthday. I'm glad I made it, but that's about it.
Yeah, but one good thing, I wasn't excited for my birthday. We didn't do anything, and I didn't really want to do anything, but they got together and surprised me, because I was wanting this jacket to take over to the UK whenever we went, because last time we went it was freezing. So, and
it's probably going to be even colder because we're going about 2 months before we went last time.
So they got me this jacket. It's really nice. It goes all the way,
about to your ankles.
Yeah. It's going to cover me completely and keep me nice and warm. And it actually came from the UK, so it's going back home, basically, when we go back over there.
I didn't never see a picture of it until, you opened it, so I wasn't expecting it to look like this nice, like, suede-looking, furry, Victorian-style,
well, the company
gothic
brand
jacket.
is called Dracula Clothing.
Oh, well, okay, that explains why it looks like that then.
All right, have you come up with a question for me this week? If you need time to think about yours, I'll go ahead and go with mine.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Okay.
It's so hard because you would have come up with like a good question, but I mean,
if you were dropped into a horror movie, what villain would you want to face? And if you think you're going to survive it, how would you survive it? Or do you think you're not going to survive?
Okay, am I by myself?
Mm-hmm.
I'm by myself.
Yeah, why? Are you planning on carrying a posse?
Well, I mean, yeah.
Who would be your posse?
I mean, in all of the movies, there's always, like, more than one person. Like, if you look at Texas Chainsaw Massacre, there was, like, 6 of them. And then if you look at Scream, there's, like, several of them in the old ones and the new ones.
Okay, well, let's change it. Okay.
Even Jamie Lee Curtis in Halloween, it was more than just her. I mean, granted, her friends didn't last that long, but
they weren't battling together, though.
No, they weren't. But I'm just saying. But she wasn't like the whole movie by herself, though.
Okay, well, if you're wanting to go that route, who's getting dropped in with you? And if you're dropping people in, who's going to be the first to die?
I don't know. Well, first let me say, I think I would want to be dropped into either Child's Play. I mean, because let's face it, Chucky a doll. I'm killing that doll.
Chucky was pretty strong, though, wasn't he?
He's a doll.
Wasn't he, possessed by something?
Yeah, by a man, but still, he's, 2 foot high. He going down. One way or the other. He's going down. Like Chucky, there ain't...
He's very small. He could hide.
No, I don't care. If you get him lured into a place where he can't hide, he's going down. Okay, I'm surviving, Chucky. Ain't no little red-headed doll gonna freaking take me out, okay? So I would either be dropped into Child's Play or Texas Chainsaw. Cause he just a man.
There's a whole family though.
That's why I'm saying, am I by myself? Because if I am, I ain't gonna get dropped into that one. If I'm not, see, really, there's only 3. There's only 3 in Texas Chainsaw you gotta look after: the hitchhiker, Leatherface, and the
cook.
The cook. That's it. Grandpa, what Grandpa gonna do? Nothing. You ain't got nobody else. So you only got 3 to.
Grandpa managed to whack her a couple times while he was laughing.
Yeah.
Whack whack.
But they all 3 humans, right? So they can. I feel like since they're not supernatural, they're gonna be easier to take down or to survive against, as long as you can not get caught off guard. That's the thing, you can't get caught off guard.
Well, you got to think initially when you get dropped into the movie, you're not right off the bat going to know this thing exists. Like, you and your posse are not going in with the sole intention to.
You didn't say that.
Yeah, so whoever is gonna start offing y'all until the rest of the group figures out that this thing exists.
Now, see, you throwing in new rules because
it's common knowledge. That's what happens.
No. If I'm getting dropped in, that means I know where I'm getting dropped in at. I'm not just magically appearing.
You have to get dropped in. Who you gonna face? But if you would play it like a normal movie, like maybe somebody's got to go first.
I think I would
become aware.
I think I would still pick Texas Chainsaw Massacre because that's gonna be the least super. Because with Chucky, yes, but like you said, he can hide, he can ambush you, and until you figure it out. But I think you would have more of a shot at the Leatherface crew than you would any of the other ones, because all the other ones outside of that are going to be supernatural, except for like Scream. But I feel like I could take Scream too. I feel like that would
maybe if there's not like 4 killers.
Yeah, if there's only like 1 or 2, yeah, I might go Scream because also. Either one of those, because they're not supernatural, like I said. So yeah, that's.
So are we? So
and I'm surviving.
You're just saying you're dropping in with the posse. You don't want to name who's in your posse.
Yeah.
And you don't want to name who's going to die first.
Yeah, I don't want. I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings. So it's too early in the podcast to hurt somebody's feelings.
If I get dropped in with you, and I become aware that there is a killer, more than likely I'm hitting somebody with a flashlight and I'm running.
You can't do that. That's and then you're gonna be the first to die because karma always comes back to.
I can't help it. Like that, my history of getting scared and running.
That's karma gonna come back and get you.
I'm like Dave Chappelle up in that movie Screwed, where he's always hitting folks with the lamp in the head, and they're like, "Why'd you hit me?" And he's like, "I was scared." That's me. Like, why'd you hit me with the flashlight and run? I was scared.
You gotta let the people know what's going on.
Because if you hit, I don't even be thinking. I just be thinking I gotta get away.
If you hit your people with an object and run away, well, now you've gone off by yourself, so you're gonna be the first one picked off. So that's your own fault.
I might be. I don't know. Well, how would you defeat them?
Oh, I mean, I would get a hold of some weapons or something, and maybe lay a trap for them. Scooby-Doo style. You get a trap, you get them trapped in somewhere, and then you take them off one by one. You got to do it guerrilla warfare style. Like, you can't come head on. I mean, because Leatherface is a big dude. He's pretty strong, and he's a big dude. So you gotta I would probably take the cook out first because he's the oldest, then the hitchhiker, and then take Leatherface out last. Unless you think you got the numbers and the strength to take Leatherface out first, since he is the biggest, before your posse gets picked off, and then it dwindles down to just like you and somebody else, and then
Okay, sounds like you don't have a straight plan. So in the perfect world, though, you've concocted this just mind blown trap.
Yeah. It would work.
Okay.
I think, yeah. I mean, I haven't really had the time to put in any thought process.
That's why
into
this
all
is
of
like,
this.
you know, just on your feet. You come up with something.
No, I can't. Cause you can't come up with a good enough trap to defeat Leatherface right off. You gotta have time to plan that out.
Maybe you like let loose like a chicken or something. They did have a bunch of chickens. Maybe they have a thing with like catching these chickens.
I mean, that could work.
You know,
I mean, but
distract him with that.
You would have to like get him into a place where he can't use anything else against you.
He can't hit you in the head and drag you back into that kitchen.
Yeah.
That was the most disturbing part of those movies to me when I watched them was, you know, seeing the hit and then just the back shot of the legs still convulsing. Ugh. That was just like, I can't do head trauma.
Tremors. Yeah.
I don't like to see any kind of head trauma in movies. Like, that will gross me out worse than anything.
Yeah, it happens. That's kind of along the lines of one of my partners on the ambulance. He been a paramedic for like 20 plus years and handle anything, but he does not do well with eye injuries.
Yeah, the eyeball would be bad too.
Yeah. If you had to be turned into a cartoon character for a day, who would you get turned into?
That's kind of a weird one.
You give me like no time to come up with a question. That's the only thing I got.
Probably like, I guess I'm going to have to go with like Shaggy because I get to eat and then, you know, investigate some haunted stuff and bust some old men being sketchy.
Oh, that's good.
I'm the weak link to the group because I'm always doing funny stuff in that van with my dog, but
Well, you got the dog to keep you company, though.
them
He's also the
sandwiches look
weekly.
real tasty on there. I'm not going to lie.
They do that. They make some really good sandwiches
You
on
be
Scooby
wanting to
Doo.
really taste those sandwiches, and I feel like if I was Shaggy, I'd have that opportunity. Of course, you know, Scooby most likely will eat it before I get the chance to. I only get like a little nub.
Yeah. I mean, at least you didn't want to be Daphne and always be the one getting kidnapped, so.
I thought about that. I was like, she is like the best looking one of the bunch, but I mean, like you said,
She always gets kidnapped.
at least I can enjoy my time being Shaggy, getting to eat the food.
True. Yeah, I mean, at least you're not off on your own like Velma is half the time. You're, you know, at least you got Scooby there to talk to.
All right, so we did watch a movie this week that we've never seen called Watchers. I think it come out, do you remember the year? I know it was the 80s. I want to say it was like 1988, but I could be wrong on that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I can look it up. I mean, it's definitely the 80s. You can tell by the clothes and the hair. And
So if you've never seen it, it's one of the movies that Corey Haim stars in.
Rest in peace.
And I'd love me some Corey Haim. He was like one of my crushes whenever I saw License to Drive. I loved Corey Haim.
It was 1988.
Yeah, I thought I saw that on the description. Basically, the concept of the movie, if you haven't seen it, is this facility gets bombed in the beginning of the movie. And they are experimenting and creating new breeds of animals or weapons, basically, because they're hoping to utilize these weapons in the future in case they need them. But someone bombs the facility. All of the creations get destroyed with the exception of two.
Yep. One is a golden retriever, and the other one is this creature that looks like a bigger version of Critters.
Yeah, he's like I think he's supposed to be a hybrid of a bunch of different animals.
Yeah, because he's kind of got like a little bit of a dog face, but it's kind of like
Pig,
pig, yeah.
kind of.
But he's kind of hairy, but then like his hand is like bald and lumpy looking, and
Honestly, you don't get a good look at this thing.
you the only time you do is at the very end. You get like
It's quick though.
a quick shot of the face, and then when he stands up again, and I mean you see the hand several times throughout the movie, but yeah, it's kind of weird.
Yeah, so he's constantly like killing people. So basically and I was a little confused on this. They were saying something that the two are, the dog and the creature are linked. They share
some of the, I guess, the human DNA that they have because they're both like really super smart. But the creature, they said, he has rational thoughts and he's smart, but there's something wrong with his emotional state. Like he's always like, I gotta. And he was the only one that felt the desire and the drive to kill the dog.
Yeah,
The other
that was his
creatures,
purpose.
the other creatures like him was like didn't have that desire to kill the other dogs, but this one was like so like I have to, and I will kill anybody that is near this dog.
Yeah, because the dog was supposed to be like in their plan for using them. The dog was going to be like a honing device to bring the creatures in to basically like get rid of the enemies, so to speak. So that's why he was like constantly like tracking this dog. Well, the dog ends up, you know, jumping in Corey Haim's truck that he seems to be going like 15 miles an hour in.
Well, he doesn't.
Every time he drives his truck.
He doesn't have his license, so
once again,
license
in
to drive.
another film.
The dog though was funny to me because even after they give the dog a bath,
he still looks dirty.
he still looks wet. It's like parts of his fur still look like you just spritzed him every time you walk by, like because he wouldn't be like soaking wet. It was like just pieces of his.
Like they put some hair gel.
Yeah, I'm like, bro, you just had a bath. Like, why you still look wet?
And I was like, the cop that was in it, because you know when the first death happens, like the sheriff and his deputy come and you know they're investigating it and stuff. That sheriff was like gung ho, like I'm about to bust this crime wide open. Now it did make me mad, like was she like a deputy or something?
I think so.
I don't know what she was. Anyway, one scene, there is a guy in the basement of the high school and you know, he hears screams, he hears like animal sounds, and he calls 911 and he's like, you know, screaming, panicking, get to the school, something's happening. And then this woman's just like, eh.
Yeah, she's like, eh.
And then the sheriff comes over and he's like, what was that? And she's like, yeah, some guy at the school. He was just screaming and stuff. And he's like...
And she was like, if it's important, he'll call back.
I'm like,
and she
what
just like goes back to like
happening here?
Like reading her book or whatever it was she was doing before she answered the phone. Like, if it's important, he'll call back.
Be like, girl, you better get up, which he does. He's like, we gotta go. But still, I'm like, you done investigated so many killings already in this town, and you think this dude's screaming for his life on the phone that nothing's going on, and it's just like,
it ain't that important.
Eh.
Yeah, like you should have at least like called out on the freaking radio, hey, somebody needs to go by and check out.
It seemed like they were the only two cops though, because that's the only ones you ever saw, wasn't it? Were there other ones?
Yeah, there was other ones, but I guess they were just.
I don't remember.
Because the guy was the sheriff, so but the part that got me though, and it was overall a pretty good movie, but the part that got me was whenever the creature has tracked them to Corey Haim's house, and Corey Haim's like, I gotta leave. So him and the dog like sneak down, they're leaving. The mom comes running outside and leaves. I guess the guy that likes her or her boyfriend or whatever inside.
I don't think he was her boyfriend. I think he was just...
He was something.
He was fulfilling some extracurriculum from what he told.
That's right, dude. Yeah. But the mom goes like, where are you going? And, you know, they're inside. Well, when they go back inside, you think they've driven off into, and they're walking up to another house. Because when they open the door, they're like, hello? Is anyone here? Blah, blah.
I initially thought they were at a different house also.
But then when you see like the blood, because the creatures done got inside and killed the dude, you realize they're walking back into their house that they just walked out of 5 minutes before, but they're acting like, is anyone here? Blah, blah. Are you still here? And it's like, why are you going up in your own house acting like you in somebody else's house?
Now, his head was completely missing, right?
It was in the
dryer?
The dryer.
Or did they open the dryer? Because I heard it, you hear something kind of beating in there, and I was like, I bet his head is in that dryer.
Yeah.
But I don't think it
don't show it, but I think Corey Haim does open the dryer and see it, because I think he makes like this, big-eyed look on his face, and then that's whenever the creature like pops out. But it doesn't show him, it doesn't show what's in the dryer. But I'm pretty sure if I remember right, he opened it and he saw it.
Yeah, and I don't know the guy's name that was of course, your villain is the creature, and then your villain is also the man that's after
the dog and
the creature. Like, he came from that facility. And I don't know his real name, but every time I've seen him, I always think he's like the more evil looking Jack Nicholson.
I mean, yeah, he does. And I've seen him in a lot of stuff, and it seems like everything he's in, he's always playing some kind of bad guy. Same way with the other NSO guy.
No, that NSO guy, I believe probably.
Well, he in Heat of the Night.
Spoiler alert, he does die, if you've never seen it. I think when he died, his body just manifested itself in Halloween Town, because he is the guy that they go to in Halloween Town. When everything gets lost, it goes to his house. I'm pretty sure that was him. I was like, that's Halloween Town, dude.
I think it is, because I knew I'd seen him. I have to look it up now, but I've seen him in, like, I've seen both of those guys in several things, but it's one of them where you can't put my finger on it. I know I've seen him in a lot, but I can't put my finger on it. So the guy you're talking about is Blue Mancuma.
The evil.
No,
Jack Nicholson?
the one you think is in Halloween Town, the black guy. He was in, I think I just saw 2012. Let's see, he was in Fringe. Yeah, I mean, this guy, he's been in a lot. He was in one episode of Smallville. He was also in one episode of Supernatural.
Are you not seeing Halloween Town?
I mean, no, but it's only back to like 2002. Like I say, he's been in a lot. But a lot of the like TV episodes is like one episode here and there. A lot of movies. Yep, Halloween Town 2.
That was him.
He's Gort in Halloween Town 2. Calabar's Revenge.
But what killed me with the movie was, when the sheriff came into the school, like they're locked and loaded, like they got their guns and stuff. But it's like so many times this creature probably could have been killed. But like when they're in the school, I feel like that sheriff could have probably shot this creature.
Oh, he had plenty of times. When the whole time he's running down the hallway knocking over those lockers, you could have turned around and freaking got him several times.
Yeah, they had to leave it up to Corey Haim. Now, Corey Haim had to do the job.
Now, the other guy you're talking about, the one that's always bad, he was in Total Recall. He's been in a lot of stuff, but he was in the original Total Recall, a bunch of stuff.
I feel like probably when they're casting things, people are like, I'm looking for a Jack Nicholson type, but more evil Jack Nicholson. And they're like, that dude.
Yep. Michael Ironside is his name. Yeah, he's like the other guy. Like, he's been, in order to get to some of the stuff that you would probably know, like I'm having to like keep scrolling, and I'm only on 2011 and I'm still scrolling. So he's been in a lot. Big time actor. A lot of movies and TV shows, but he's one of those guys where it's like, I've seen this guy in a lot, and I know his face, but
his name don't really stick out.
But for future reference, if you know who we're talking about, Michael Ironside is his name.
Yeah, so like I say, a spoiler alert, you find out when in the end that he himself has been created in this lab also.
Yeah. He said he's the ultimate killing machine because he has no conscience.
Yeah, I feel like he got eliminated pretty easily, though, to be like their best asset.
Yeah. I think it was just because he wasn't a creature, he was human, but they just like took his conscience away. So it's like he didn't care who he offed or whatever. It was like, you tell me what the job is, I'm gonna get it done, no questions asked, because I don't care anymore. I don't care what it is, kind of thing.
It was kind of strange to me too that they have the creature, because you know how like some serial killers have like their trademark thing they do, and that's how you know that the same person has killed so many people. It was funny that they had this creature use this also.
Yeah.
He's like, I pluck out eyeballs. That's how you know I did that.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like, they never addressed it, why he'd like to pluck out eyeballs.
Yeah, because I thought he was eating them when they first started talking about, until you see the sheriff's deputy and you're like, well, she's not missing her eyes. They're just plucked out.
Yeah.
So I guess that was just his thing. That was his calling card. We're the sticky bandits. We're the eyeball bandits.
And then also another thing, like Jason Priestley is in it. I was like, hey, that's Jason Priestley. But you go back and you watch these 80s films, and you're like, some of the stuff they put in it, you're just like, they would never do that nowadays.
No.
Like the trio in the woods, their name for the boy, they're like Piggy,
Yeah, Piggy.
Piggy run, like Piggy
Run,
pedal,
Piggy.
pedal,
Piggy.
Piggy. And I'm like, I don't even think they ever use his real name.
No,
It's
they just
Piggy.
call him Piggy.
I mean, and then there's like several scenes like up in Monster Squad that I'm like, ain't nobody putting that up in no movie.
I mean, you think about a lot of the movies from that era, like, you know, there's no way they would remake those now. Like Blazing Saddles.
Yeah.
Like that. Can you imagine them trying to remake Blazing Saddles today? It would not. People would flip out. And that movie is so good. Like, it's so funny, and like the story's good and everything, but because like the content and what they say and stuff, and some of the jokes is like, people would flip their freaking gourd. You know,
it's just funny how things have changed so much as far as what they put in movies now.
Yeah. Another one would be Porky's. Like, there's no way they would remake.
I don't know if I've ever seen Porky's.
That's a good one, but it's along that same, like that, you know, that ride the line, like Blazing Saddles, you know, kind of thing. Like some of the stuff that's in it.
You're surprised is not banned.
Yeah. Yeah. All in all, though, Watchers, I mean, it was good to be 1988, you know.
Yeah, I don't think it was like overly, like, you know, in some of the 80s movies, you know, horror movies, you might be like, oh, this is kind of cheesy. And some of them are great because they are so cheesy. Yeah. But I don't think that one was cheesy.
No, I don't feel like it was cheesy. I mean, I think it was a good movie. I mean, there is a part 2 out. There is a part 2.
Part 2 just got released.
Yeah. So definitely gonna have to watch it to see how the second movie is. I don't think it's got Corey Haim in it though.
Burn.
I think it's got a different guy, like, because the guy that's on the cover of the second one looks older, and it came out two years later, so it was out in 1990. Yeah, see, the guy on the front looks more like an actual adult, you know, than a kid. So, I mean,
one other thing too, which I know it was the 80s, but like Corey Haim's hair was like pretty big, and them shoes, like he could jump to the moon with them things.
Yeah.
Which I know that was a style back then.
Yeah, gonna have to check out the second one though, because I mean, why not? I already watched the first one. Just sucks it doesn't want to have Corey. They should have done the second one with Corey Feldman, since the first one with Corey Haim. That's how they should have done. See, Hollywood dropped the ball when they didn't do a second one with Corey Feldman. That way, both Watcher movies. Yeah, both Watchers could be done with the Coreys, and probably would have made a lot more money.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's change up and let's do a little talk spooky to me.
Okay.
Do you want to go first, or you want me to go once again first?
You gotta stretch it out. I'll go first. So my story is a personal one.
Again, you got a lot of spooky stories in that.
I mean, what can I say?
Arsenal.
I live that spooky life. So mine is takes place at this villa in Atchison, Kansas, and we were going there, or we had went there to do a haunted investigation. And this is just like maybe half a mile or so, a few blocks away from Sally House. And we're there during the daytime, and the woman that owns the house, she's giving us a tour, you know, down. I mean, it's a big house. It's even got a basement with like 7 rooms, but the basement, like the floor, I think it was dirt. Seems like,
at least in some parts.
Some parts. Anyway, then you had the main story, and then you had a second story with a few rooms, and then you could actually go into the attic that was an entire room by itself. Not an attic where you, like most houses where you can only put a few boxes up there, and you know, this one you could walk around. You could literally turn it into like a little apartment, really, because it was the length of the entire house, and I'd say almost a width. And she's telling us that, you know, that you can go here, you can go here. And I think the only room we couldn't go into was her room downstairs that she stayed in when she was there at the house. And it was like off of the kitchen. So we're there and we're getting the tour and she's telling us stories and everything. And I'm like, oh, okay, you know, this is going to be a nice. And we were going to leave and get something to eat and go by the store and everything and then come back to her house about 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock.
Are we getting ASMR in the middle of
No, that was from the first Home Alone movie. It was like, when we come back about 9 o'clock, and Kevin McAllister was like, 9 o'clock.
Oh.
You know, to himself. Anywho, and we're going to set up all of our stuff and we're going to investigate this house, and we were going to go live at the time. So we get back there and we get all of our stuff. We go in and we set it in the dining room because she has like a long dining room table, like one of those that'll seat like, you know, 8 to 10 people with the high back chairs and everything. I think they were high back. Anyway, so we put all of our stuff down at one end of the table, and I got the computer down at the other end of the table. Like right over here is like you can see into the kitchen. And so I'm sitting there, I've got the computer all set up, ready to go live and everything. And at the time, our youngest daughter was with us, and she was going to sit down at the other end and finish up her homework. And then she was going to come find us and investigate. We were going to go on and start.
She's very brave.
Yeah, she's very
brave. She's like, I don't care. Yeah. I'll sit at this house at this table by myself. I do not care.
Yep. And so I get everything set up. I get the computer ready to go. No, I got everything set up, and for whatever reason, I had to go back out to the truck to get something or look for something. Anyway, I come back in and I sit down at the other end of the table and I get the computer ready to go live and everything, and I just get this really weird feeling, like extremely weird. And I keep looking over towards the kitchen like expecting to see something, and I never do. And the feeling just gets worse and worse and worse, to the point to where like I'm fixing to like get up out of the chair and like leave, maybe, I don't know, or go look around or something. And as I go to get up, it's like something just right on my shoulders and it's holding me on and then it's like the more I like try to get up, the more it feels like now something's like wrapped around me like this, like, you know, like a bear hug. And it was almost like there was something over my mouth, because I felt like I couldn't talk. It's like I wanted to, but I almost like I felt like I couldn't. And so at this point, I'm like panicking. And I'm like looking around like this. I'm like, you know, I can turn my head. I'm like looking around. I'm looking over here and everything. Well, she picks up on it. And she's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, you know, I can get big eyes. And I'm just like shaking my head like I don't know and everything. And she was like, are you okay? And I'm like, and she's like, do you see something? And I'm,
yeah, because you kept looking toward the kitchen.
Yeah. And I'm like, I just shake my head and I'm like, you know, but I can't say something. She's like, are you going to say anything? And I'm like, I felt like I couldn't, and I felt like I couldn't move. And so she's like, you want me just to come out? You know, she's trying to like lighthearten the situation. She's like, do I need to come over there and just drop kick you out that chair? And she kind of laughs like that.
He thinks it was lighthearted. It wasn't. Just kidding.
And I was like, and when she said that, like I just like shook my head and like I start like tears are starting to form at this point, because I'm at the point to where it's like I don't know what's holding on to me, but the only thing I could think is like I didn't know what would happen if she came over and touched me. Like, is something gonna like leech onto her? Something gonna throw her across the room, scratch her? Is it gonna jump on, you know, our youngest daughter, you know, whatever? So I'm like kind of starting to panic. And finally she's like, do we need to just leave? Like, I feel like we just need to leave. And as soon as I nod, it's like whatever it was just let go. And normally when we get through at a place, you know, I take all of our equipment, a camera, and I place it neatly in the bag, and I organize everything, make sure it's not going to get damaged, zip up the backpack, get it, you know, we take time getting the stuff. As soon as I can move, I grab everything. I slam the computer, I throw it into the book bag. I'm throwing the camera and all the stuff that's out on the table. I'm throwing it in the book bag. I don't care if it gets damaged. I'm zipping up. I'm like, let's go. Our youngest daughter's like, what's going on? She's like taking her time. I'm like, you either get your crap together or you leave it here. This one over here is like, I need to get some stuff for TikTok. I'm like, screw freaking TikTok. And all your pictures and videos, we gotta freaking
going on
leave.
other than you just being weird.
Yeah, so I'm about to just leave you here. I'm like, come on, let's go. And she gets her little, videos for TikTok and everything, and they're walking out to the car. I'm like, y'all ain't walking fast enough. We need to leave. I just throw everything in the truck that we had at the time and floor it. I'm surprised to not just tear the bottom out of this freaking truck, because the driveway sloped down into like a rain ditch. And then you kind of made this little whoop like that. We hit that thing at, I know, at least 30, 40 miles an hour going down this driveway. I'm surprised it didn't bend the rim and tear the whole truck apart. Get down the road like a couple miles, and finally I pull over. We pull over. I tell them what happened and everything. So we fast forward to the next day, and we're doing a video, and we're in the cemetery, and the woman that owns the house calls, and she's like, y'all must have left early. She's like, I got here and y'all weren't here. And I'm like, and we didn't even stay the night. We weren't there but maybe an hour and a half. I was like, we left. Like, we got out of there. We locked up, turned everything off. We were gone. Told her what would happen, and she goes, well, you're not the first person that's told me this. And I'm like, whoa, what? Like, you failed to mention this, like, when you were giving the tour. She was like, yeah. She's like, not too long ago, 3 people rented the house to check it out and everything. And she has the camera set up all over the house, but she doesn't watch them unless you tell her to. Like, hey, did we get something on camera? Can you check your footage? And she'll, go and check it. And she's like, yeah, 3 people were there, and one woman, they thought she was having a seizure. They ended up calling 911. The ambulance got there, and she ended up being fine. And I'm watching the footage.
And she said as soon as that woman got out of the house, she was fine.
Yeah. As soon as she got out of the house, she's fine. And she was watching the footage from those people, and her husband walks in and goes, I thought you watching footage. And she was like, yeah. She's like, I just saw them leave. And she's like, they didn't all leave, or are you sure they're left? And she's like, yeah, I just watched the paramedic close the door or whatever. And he was like, well, then who's that next to the dining room table? And when she looks back at the monitor, she said there's a dark silhouette figure standing next to the dining room table, which is where we were at. And this was the 3 people that are rented, not us. But she said on camera, when she turns the volume up, you can hear what sounds like the dining room table, or the dining room area is here. There's a wall, and on the other side of the wall is the stairs that go upstairs. She said it sounds like somebody on the other side of the wall on the stairs, like screaming and beating or stomping their feet when she turns the volume up. And I was like, that would have been nice to know before we rented this place from you for the night. And she goes, I don't have anybody that's rented it out tonight. If y'all want to come back, it'll be all to yourself, free of charge. And I'm like, no, that's all right. We got to carry on. We got to go to another state. I'm like, no thanks.
But it was funny with that house. She told us too that what people would stop by the house and they would hear her.
Mm-hmm.
Like she said, like one person,
a friend of her, like I think like her
said,
best friend
or something to her friend, and she's like, I was not here, or wasn't.
She wasn't
on that
inside
floor or something.
Yeah, one of them. That one, she was actually outside on the phone in the backyard, and when the woman came in, she heard the owner lady's voice talking to her and everything. She sat there and talked to her like she was in the next room, and she's like, oh yeah, I love you, blah blah, which the friend knew was weird because the owner has never said that to her. Like, even though they're best friends, they're not like ones like, oh, I love you. So when she said that, she knew that there was something off, but didn't think nothing about it until she said that. And the woman's like, I wasn't inside. She's like, when you came by, I was in the backyard on a phone call. And she's like, no, I sat here and talked to you. And she's like, no, you didn't. Like, I'm telling you, I was outside. I think she even like showed her the phone call, like, the timestamp and everything. And she was like, what the crap? She's like, because it was you dead spot on for your voice talking to you. And she was like, yeah, A few people say they've heard my voice or had a conversation with me whenever I'm not even there. So whatever's in that house has learned to mimic her voice, I guess, to fool people or bring a false sense of security,
I don't know if, I mean, she stays there, and she stays there by herself, I guess.
Yeah.
She said my room when I stay. I don't
see how.
Kudos to her. She, knowing what all happens in that house, from what she's heard or seen on these video things she's got, and knowing that there is something in there that is mimicking her.
Yeah.
And she stays there by herself.
I'm telling you, if you're ever in Atchison, Kansas, or Atchison, Kansas area, the Sally House is there. We've experienced both these places, and I can tell you straight up, if you want to go investigate something a house that has something no doubt in it, maybe even multiple things, go to the McInteer Villa.
Yeah. Now, granted, Sally House might have something in it.
It might.
You're not going to, if something is haunted, you might not have experiences every time you go somewhere.
Right.
Like, we had a completely boring night. But the woman that owned the McInteer Villa, she herself said that she's been to the Sally House about 8 times, and all 8 times she's never had anything happen.
She never had anything. So, if you want to check it out, the Sally House, just for nostalgia reasons, because it's the Sally House or whatever, knock yourself out. But if you want to go check out something that is not as well known,
it's not. Yeah.
And it should be way more than some of these other haunted locations that are on the map, then you need to go by and rent out McInteer Villa in Atchison, Kansas. Because I'm telling you, if I would be utterly shocked if you didn't experience something while you were there at night. Because when we were there during the day, I didn't get no weird feeling. I was even like, oh man, this is going to be fun. We got the house to ourselves, go investigate. But once that sun went down, it's almost like something woke up inside that house that was sleeping during the day. The darkness activated something, I'm telling you. But check out McInteer. That's my talk biggie to me.
Well, yours is a lot more detailed, obviously, because it was personal experience. I'm going to try to make mine kind of short because we're almost out of time. But have you ever heard of the Benadryl challenge?
Is that like the Tide Pod challenge?
Kinda. I mean, it's along the same stupidity level, yeah.
Take enough Benadryl would be your last sinus headache.
Well, Benadryl is a medicine you take for allergies.
Mm-hmm.
And you take for sleeping. Some people take it for sleeping. I've taken it because, like we said before, we work night shifts, and sometimes I would have trouble sleeping during the day. I tried melatonin, and I would take like a Benadryl to try to help sleep. But what these people were doing, and this was years ago, but they were taking an amount of Benadryl that was basically being toxic to them, to the point where they would wake up and start hallucinating, so to speak. Now, the odd thing is, whenever they would wake up and start hallucinating, a lot of people report seeing the same thing. Okay. Like, they're all reporting seeing a shadowy figure with a hat, much like a fedora hat. It's the Hat Man.
Okay.
Like, I just think that's crazy and the people were like willingly taking this Benadryl to try to see the Hat Man. And, another thing that comes along with the Benadryl is sleep paralysis, which would also be terrifying. You woke up, you can't move, and you're seeing these shadowy figures, and you're seeing something like the Hat Man sitting there, and they get this feeling, this ominous feeling, and that they're being watched, and something real heavy, and then you look over and you see this man watching you.
Yeah, that would be a little terrifying.
Yeah.
I can't think of his name, but maybe it was the bad guy from Demon Slayer. He wears a fedora. Maybe that's where they got the idea.
I mean, I can kind of get, the hallucinations. And a lot of people, will say they see bugs, or some people even get, feeling where there's bugs crawling on them or whatever. But it's just funny that they're all seeing the same thing. Yeah. I don't know. Do you think there's something more to it?
I don't know. I mean, It's definitely weird. Now, were the same people that were seeing this, like, were they in the same region, the same?
It doesn't say. Now, there was one article I was reading about a lady, and she was talking about, people taking so many, because it's a lot more than what they recommend you take.
Right. You're not just taking two Benadryl pills for.
But her, she was talking about that, like people taking more than the prescribed and seeing the Hat Man and stuff. And she herself took Benadryl, not the amount other people were taking, but she just took some to help go to sleep. And she herself saw the Hat Man. So it's kind of weird. Like, what, Benadryl? What you doing?
What you got up in you besides some antihistamine? Yeah, that's weird because really, if you think about it, Benadryl's not, that big of a sleep medicine, compared to some of the other stuff on the market. Like what's the one a lot of people go crazy on?
Ambien.
Ambien, yeah, they give in the hospital. People go crazy on Ambien and whatever.
We
that
have
other
seen
one is.
somebody do that.
Yeah,
in the hospital.
Because on something like Ambien, like I could see that because we've seen people like be perfectly fine and then they take their Ambien and try to go to sleep and all of a sudden they start acting freaking crazy. Like they don't know where they're at and they're off the wall. So seeing something like that on like Ambien or a drug like that, I can see. But Benadryl is like people give Benadryl to kids.
Yeah, and they're saying, just because people assumes this is an over-the-counter medication that it's safe. Well, relatively it is up until you go and take these crazy dosages of it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, like I said, I've taken it to try to help. Maybe the Hat Man doesn't come out during the day. Maybe I didn't see him because I took it during the day to try to sleep. I mean, and I've taken it because I'm allergic to red wasp, and we were outside doing yard work, and I got popped by a couple in the hand. My hand looked like a Stay Puft Marshmallow hand, and I think sometimes it would help me sleep, but for the most part, whenever that time it didn't. Then when I would try to sleep during the day, it wouldn't help.
Yeah, it's never made me sleepy, and I've only had to take it growing up because my allergies. I'm allergic to pollen and dust and cat dander and all that stuff, and it never made me. It kind of makes you wonder, like, how large of a dose are you taking?
Oh, it's
to have to sit there and like hallucinate, like are you like downing an entire liquid bottle? Or you take, if you got a pack of 30, are you taking like 20 out of,
Trying to see if I can find the dosage they were taking. Okay, so the recommended dosage is typically 25 to 50 milligrams every 4 to 6 hours, not to exceed 300 in a 24-hour period.
Right.
So I think this one doesn't say, but it seems like, it says the 25 to 50 milligrams. Seems like something else I read said they were taking like 500. But that could be like wrong.
That's a lot. So I don't know.
Because what it does, it says that it works by blocking the histamine H1 receptors. And just kind of skimming through this, the action of blocking that, it's responsible for a range of cognitive functions, including memory, learning, attention, and arousal. So that blockage is a key to them hallucinating and making them delirious.
Well, yeah, if you're not supposed to take more than 300 milligrams in a 24-hour period and you're taking 500
I swear I think it was 500. I could be wrong, though.
Well, it would have to be something over the 300, and you're taking that all at once versus, spaced out. And maybe the Hat Man falls under like the same entity or whatever as Slender Man.
Slender Man is talked about like when you read about Hat Man, because obviously both of them were probably made more known and popular from people's encounters and stories on Reddit, So I don't know. I know, like, obviously, if you knew you were not going to overdose and die, okay, you knew you were going to be safe, would you take the Benadryl to see if you could see Hat Man?
No. Just like I'm not going to go chew on some Tide Pods, you know.
Well, no, like, Tide Pods are obviously probably doing something weird. They're not meant to be eaten.
Eating your insides out.
Or let's say if somebody told you take 2 Benadryl, like a normal dosage, and then they're like, you'll see Hat Man if you take it. Would you do it?
No, I'm going to go get my Flonase bottle and squirt it up my nose and go about my day.
You're not getting the point to the question.
Yes, I am.
You're acting like you just taking the medication for some some actual needs. I'm saying, would you take it just to see if you would see him?
And I'm saying no. I'm going to go get my Flonase.
You don't need the Flonase in this hypothetical situation because you are not in the need for the medicine.
Yeah, I know that, but I'm saying that's my answer.
So you just want to take the Flonase.
Yeah. Because I'm not going to see anything on Flonase. In other words, I'm not going to take it because I don't want to see anything.
Well, that's all you had to say. You didn't say you need to go take Flonase.
That was just my joke way of saying, no, I'm not going to take it. I'm going to go over here and take something else. Like if I needed the Benadryl, obviously I'm not going to take it because I don't want to see the freaking hat guy.
I would, like, if somebody said you can take 2 Benadryl, I would be tempted to try to see if I could see.
Well, you do that somewhere far away from this location. You go be crazy somewhere else.
Well, all right. I guess if that was the case, then I'll go somewhere else. Not gonna do it, but I was just saying. All right, well, that's all the time we got. We gotta wrap this up.
Good. And no more hat guy.
You might see him tonight.
No, because I don't take Benadryl, so I think I'm okay. Like I said before, I'm gonna stick with my Flonase. All right. Well, until next episode.
Keep it spooky.
Later.